Ah, If you do a quick search for van life, you'll get bombarded by picture-perfect moments of an ideal life on the road. And while there's some truth to that, yes, there's also the flip side of the coin that gets way less time in the spotlight. So today I want to talk about some of the realities of living in your van and help to more accurately paint the whole picture. Even though I finished construction over a year ago, every time I come home, there's something that needs to be done. And because my van is something I created, the problems are all custom. They aren't just things you can Google your way out of. They often take a lot of time, thought, and trial and error, and the van is never actually done. My mom keeps saying it's like owning a house. There's always something that needs your attention. Over the past year, I've had to deal with everything from rust, to vehicle maintenance, to bugs and rodents, to smelly gray water because my tank wouldn't seal, to morale-crushing defeats from being unable to solve seemingly impossible problems that manifest in a deep downwards thought spiral, causing you to wonder why the hell you're doing this. Maybe you should have just gotten a house, had kids at 20, eaten leftover takeout for breakfast, and pretended that commuting multiple hours a day isn't a waste as long as you listen to audiobooks while you drive. Oh. Oh, that's gonna leave a bruise. Okay, so maybe I'm being a little bit over dramatic, except for that part where I nailed my head on the wall just now, because that did actually just happen, and it did actually just really hurt. But in all seriousness, van life is not all rainbows and waterfalls. It is full of novelty and adventure, but it's not always the fairy tale that we're led to believe on the internet. So allow me to peel back the flab on the van life underbelly per se, and illustrate to you some things that you can expect if you were to start a van adventure of your own. Van fever. You're not always parked with the doors open to a beautiful view. Oftentimes you're in a parking lot. Sometimes with your windows blacked out because you don't want anybody to know you're sleeping inside. Sometimes it's just you in a box. No support net. When you're alone, there's nobody to help you out when you're sick. One day I felt so bad I pulled off the road and spent my night on the floor, parked alone in a strange place, forcing myself to eat soup, desperately trying to feel better. Limited employment options. If you want to actually travel in your van, you're not going to be in one place for long enough to hold down a traditional job. And though gas stations are less expensive than rent, the lifestyle isn't cheap. Bathing. Particularly during COVID, access to showers is extremely limited. Washcloths, baby wipes, and natural bodies of water are going to become your best friend. And you're going to have to embrace the dirt because everything gets dirty super easily. It's not always clean and pretty, especially if you're parked off-road. Just leaving the doors or windows open to get some air in, or something as small as walking into your van gets dirt inside. It's a constant effort to keep everything clean. Limited space. Want to cook dinner? Try doing it with just a stove and extremely limited counter space. The luxury of expansive space to leave things is no more, which means you've got to clean everything up after you're done with it. You can't deal with the mess you made cooking later because the kitchen is your living room, and your bathroom, and your everything else. No internet. This one is both a blessing and a curse. It's great to be less connected, but can also be cumbersome when you need to get work done, especially during COVID when coffee shops are doing takeout only and you can't borrow their Wi-Fi as easily. Security. You'll find yourself often sleeping in strange places. Sometimes they aren't quiet. Sometimes the locals don't want you there. It doesn't bother me much at all, but there's always the potential for things to get sketchy. Loneliness. There's a difference between friends you meet on the road and those closest to you. People rarely talk about getting homesick or missing out on the lives of those they left there, but isolation is something you'll have to embrace if you want to live a nomadic lifestyle. Now look, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just trying to give you enough information so that you realize that everything is more difficult and you just get discouraged. Wait. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. Well, everything is more difficult, but that's just the trade-off that you make. When it's great, it's really great. It's just not always great. It's got its good moments and its shitty moments, but that's just life. All things considered, if you think that it's for you, you'll likely find it extremely rewarding. Just remember that all that glitters is not gold, and everything is easier said than done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace! I've never done that before. This is like the YouTuber handshake. I don't know how I'm just gonna get my lens dirty. I'm just gonna cut. Bye. Bye!